This is Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So we get a couple different options actually with this one. So no matter what we do, we're getting a 4K resolution at 60 FPS. Pretty great, right? So there's also auto HDR. And yeah, you can go to the settings, you can go to options, and by default, dynamic resolution scaling is on. So we're going to turn that off, because that'll give us actually a full native 4K resolution. Pretty cool, right? Now, you might notice some dips here or there, but with the power, or well, the overhead of the Series X, it's actually pretty good. It's not a bad way to play this game. I think for, if you want frame rate safety, the dynamic resolution scaling is not a bad way to go. Honestly, it's kind of pretty good. That's how I played most of the game, just because I was like, I want everything to be smooth and everything like that. So Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is the follow-up to the New Order, and because there's been a few different entries within the series, obviously, right? There's been New Order, Old Blood, Young Blood comes after this one, quite a bit after this one, actually, Young Blood. And, whew, how do we kill that thing? Can we kill this thing? I don't know if I can kill this thing. Time to run away! So yeah, this is the second main entry. Because it's like, the New Order was kind of like the first one, which was like a reboot of the Wolfenstein franchise. Because, I mean, obviously, if you're not familiar with Wolfenstein, it is one of the father first-person shooters, one of the most classic shooter franchises that ever existed. Absolutely just an iconic series for shooters. It really, really is. It's a huge deal. So they revamped it and prepared it for a new age, which I think was really, really exciting. Because I loved what they did with it. And then this new entry here really kind of, upped the ante a little bit and revamped things for, an exciting new era. And I think they absolutely nailed the delivery on that in regards to, the gameplay and the style of play. Because it felt, nostalgic in the sense that, hey, you got to pick up ammo, you got to pick up armor. But at the same time, it was like revamped in some beautiful new ways, in just like the gameplay style, the level design, everything like that felt really, really good. And as I said, I was quite happy with that and what they did with it. So this second one here takes place sometime after the events of the first game, or actually kind of immediately after. But there is some time changes, some adjustments to the time, because, basically your character gets like pretty mangled by the end of the last one if you didn't play the New Order. I mean, I don't know why you'd be looking at the sequel if you didn't play that one, because, I mean, you don't need to have played it to experience this one, but at the same time, I feel like you get a lot more out of them if you actually do kind of play them in order, and if you want to play a little bit extra, Old Blood, and then also Young Blood after this one continues the story. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking at playing this title. So BJ Blazkowicz, which is the main character, is once again out here trying to kill the Nazis. They're the bad guys, obviously. I mean, I think we all know that. And, they've kind of taken America. And, America's kind of given up after a devastating nuclear strike. And you're here trying to, get them back together, if that makes sense. Get the Americans to revolt and everything like that. And that's the gist of the story from that narrative perspective, is you are trying to, build up some factional groups, survive with your crew, support your wife who's pregnant with your kids, little twins and whatnot. And yeah, that's kind of the story. It's got some really messed up things. It's ultra violent. It's ultra gory. It has really intensive themes. It's got some pretty funny jokes and bits, too. in regards to some of the character interactions. Like, there was a group of, like, the Nazis that were, like, talking, and they're like, imagine killing someone based on their beliefs or something like that. It's like, yeah, violence is never the way or something. And I was just like, holy, that is actually really kind of meta-like to a high degree. But anyways, it's quite an experience. I'm really trying to find, where is this person at? There's like somebody that's broadcasting here, and I'm trying to like figure out where they are actually broadcasting from. They are around here. I'm also not having a bad time just killing these enemies, that's for sure. Papa Joe's Diner. I actually have a milkshake drink from Papa Joe's Diner because at PAX they had a whole diner set up. I was there for that. It was really, really cool. So obviously, oh, can we get up that way, or is this the way you sneak in? Oh, okay, there we go. We got this. Yeah, so there's like, I guess you would say general type people, and they broadcast signals, and more enemies come in and attack you, and that's kind of a big thing story-wise, or not story-wise, but like missions-wise that happens. But yeah, you're going through these different American cities. There's like New Orleans, there's Manhattan, there's what else is there? Roswell, which is where we're in. And, you know, it all looks really, really good. You know, again, visually, quite blown away by the aesthetic and the style and the design of it. All very, very well done. And then there's these Enigma codes that you can decipher afterwards to get new missions, to like kind of replay areas. Yeah. It's kind of neat. And then you're able to return home to your base and then go do like another mission. So it's kind of neat. Like, I like this one. I like all the other entries in this series. I like the main character. I like the side character. But just again, keep in mind, it's really vicious, really violent. And the material that it covers is quite graphic, obviously. And you've got this just absolute psychopath of a main villain. And it's a neat look at, like, basically, you know, what would happen if, you know, the Nazis kind of took over. And they started taking over the world, and they, you know, bombed the U.S. basically into submission, similar to what the U.S. did to, like, say, Japan and stuff like that. It's a very, very interesting concept. I don't like the hub world area, though. It's kind of annoying to get around, and there's just, like, one mission where you have to go find this guy, and it's just kind of a pain. But, you know, it's a neat adult title. It's very interesting. I like what they had going for it. I think it's a neat sort of world that you can find yourself in. I think they really did offer some unique surprises. I actually would really like to go to the farmhouse. I wonder if I can decipher the code for that. And there's like, you know, if you are familiar with the previous Wolfenstein titles, there's an element of fantastical technological discovery and advancement. So for this one, you do again get to do a little bit of a space mission, which is delightful. Absolutely delightful. And it was really, really cool and atmospheric, and the different missions are quite well done. It's a decently lengthy game. You know, it's got well set up missions, lots of moving through events, lots of shooting things. Do I play this scenario stealthy? Do I go in guns blazing? You know, you get to kind of choose how you want to, you know, approach scenarios. And there's that same, like, kind of leveling sort of thing that was available in the first game. So you're able to get, there's contraptions, and then there's perks. So you do certain kills, and that will level, you know, your perks and stuff up, and you can dual wield. And then there's, like, weapon upgrades, so you can make your gun a little bit more powerful. And extra surprises and collectibles for you to gather. So there's more to it. There's also, like, DLC that has a focus on different characters. I didn't play that, but it likes to remind me every single time I go into the settings or the menu that that's the thing. But yeah, it's just kind of, again, it's a neat game. I quite like it. It provides some good gameplay time. It's got some good combat to it. I do feel, though, story-wise, it's a little anticlimactic, and I feel like the missions could have expanded upon some areas more. It really does feel like you kind of go in, you shoot a bunch of things, run past a bunch of things, and then you're kind of done. You know, there wasn't the usual, here's, like, some crazy, monstrous, you know, kind of thing going on. it wasn't quite like that, right? Where you fight some big monstrous, I don't know, abomination. You do kill some pretty, like, you do destroy some pretty crazy stuff, if that makes sense. Like, there's definitely some machines and things you got to take care of that are cool, but, you know, it wasn't quite, I don't know, story-wise, it wasn't quite as crazy, I think, in comparison to previous entries that had come out. I still liked it. It was still enjoyable. I'm glad I finally sort of had the time to sit here and play through it. It's something that I wanted to actually, you know, get done for a while. And it was a treat, you know, and visually, like I said, I think this looks absolutely just fantastic. You know, again, dynamic resolution scaling is something you could do too. But, yeah, it's not really necessarily even needed with the overhead power, like I mentioned. So you can kind of play it your way. And I'm sort of taking my time too. I'm not really in a rush. And they do a great job with like getting all like the symbolism and stuff like that all correct. And you know, it's nice to have a game that can kind of tackle this really serious material that's present here, this what if scenario. And I think they do it in a very appropriate, well-set way that, you know, offers some humor of the situation, also sets up the conflict appropriately in interesting ways. Can I blow that up? Just see if I can do this. No, never can get in those things. Yeah, and then you get some different abilities. Like, this game has some, like, really messed up things that happen in regards to, like, your character, and, yeah, I always thought that was a bit strange. Like, there's some really, really strange, I guess you could describe them as, like, sci-fi type things that go on. Like, it's... I mean, thematically, it fits, but it's also just kind of, like, a little balls to the wall, just crazy what goes on a lot of the time in this. And you're just along for the ride. But it's got a fun cast. I actually almost would have liked some of the cast to be used more. I don't know, it's great, like, it's a great game, but there's, like, numerous areas where I was kind of like, I think they could have pushed this concept a lot further, if that makes sense. I don't know if I like this one as much as, say, like, you know, the New Order, even Old Blood was, yeah, I think Old Blood they could have more potential with, and Young Blood I actually didn't mind, I kind of like that one. And like I said, if you can't get enough, and you like, you know, New Colossus here, you like the other Wolfenstein, Youngblood's kind of fun. It's like a co-op take on it. It's not to the same scale or design as these ones, but it's still kind of a cool entry. And like I said, it progresses the storyline quite a bit, narrative-wise. I didn't think they would jump ahead that much, but I think they're making the next Wolfenstein a full family affair when that comes, you know, when that releases. So I'm definitely looking forward to more Wolfenstein. Because like I've said, I really love this franchise. It is a very important gaming franchise. It may not seem like that to everyone. It may just be like, oh, it's just another badass shooter where you're some kind of, like, you know, maniac thing. But you also really got to remember that this is like, you know, we wouldn't have shooters and games like we do today without the impact and the history that the Wolfenstein franchise has provided over the years. And it's a great series. You know, I'd love to say it's like some kind of intense tactical franchise, but it's just like a run, gun, and blast and smash things in like the best of ways. I really do enjoy these. Like I said, this is great. But yeah, there are a few things here or there where I was kind of like, oh, they could have taken this further, or I don't like the slight hub area concept, or I'd really like multiplayer to return. I know that's weird, I guess, to some degree, but I really would like to see them take a crack at doing, you know, Wolfenstein multiplayer again. Because I think that would be really, really quite interesting. Because we've seen some, like, there's been a lot of different Wolfenstein takes, I guess you would say, over the years, if that makes sense. Like, you know, there's, like, the classic Wolfenstein. There was, like, was it Wolfie 2009, I think it's called? Return to Castle Wolfenstein I played when I was young. I have very, very fond memories of that one. Wow, I really messed up there. I tried to climb over and it wasn't letting me climb over. Let's see what kind of checkpoint it gave me. All the way at the beginning? What? Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing too, is like checkpoints wise. Sometimes, sometimes not the best. Let's put it that way. I think it's because the design of this mission is like an assassination mission thing, so it's a little different. Do I have to redestroy these tapes, or are they like... I don't know if I'm supposed to redestroy these. Anyways, let's go kill that guy. I'm like determined to go get this done now. Now I'm kind of mad, so we're gonna just we're gonna shoot our way with adrenaline now. But yeah, you got a range of different weapons. Like I said, you can upgrade them. I do think this is a very, very good, impactful franchise. I am well excited for a Wolfie 3. I hope that it's, you know, sooner than later, because I think there's a lot more for them to explore with this franchise. Even, you know, I think spin-offs and stuff. I would definitely be down for some spin-offs, further little things, little smaller stories. I actually think that quite works well for Wolfenstein. In my opinion, is doing like little smaller narrative chunks. I think can actually be really effective in this this type of world, and that just for introducing new characters and expanding the world. But what, I thought I picked the shotgun. There we go. Maybe because I just didn't let it have time to get out. But yeah, it's just neat, and it's always, you know, good to sit there and shoot some of the Nazis. I mean, they're definitely, obviously, the bad guys, so, you know, it's pretty satisfying seeing them get killed, and especially in the gruesome ways they do things. And as I said, I quite like the antagonist in this one. You know, that lady is just absolutely crazy that you go up against. She is a definite menace. and that's really good when you've got a well-done villain. But yeah, a little anticlimactic on the story. I would have liked some of the narrative bits to be expanded upon, because even some of the missions I was sort of like, oh, that's, you know, it just kind of ends, and I was like, oh, that's it? And I was like, okay. So I think there is room for them to go further, and I think if they take, you know, this concept and they expand upon it and they do a little bit of a deeper story thing, I think that could be a lot of fun. And seriously, don't sleep on young blood there. It's not that bad. It's kind of cool, and if you've ever wanted to do kind of like a co-op thing, it's fun. Reminds me of like modding Return to Castle Wolfenstein and doing some co-op. I always kind of thoroughly enjoyed that. Can we take you? Yeah. Causing mayhem and also trying to pad this out in the right time is done. What? Constrictor harness. Okay. Oh, so is that the only way to actually go and like kill this thing, is using the harness thing? Okay. Odd. It'll let you do what? Where am I getting shot from? Do I have to switch to the harness, or do I just have the harness available? Sorry, I chose the leg thing, so I have these like legs that let me fly up higher. There's a certain point in the story where you get to kind of like choose how your character sort of like changes up. So this is the only way to get this guy? Do I have to like turn on the contraption or something like that? Like, this has never happened before where you actually use this. Okay, so constrictor harness. Does it just like put me in there? Alright, we gotta kill these guys. Oh, and some gruesome executions. It was almost like it's a bunch of slices of life, if that makes sense. Where you are going into these different crazy stages and scenarios, shooting and destroying things. Very, very well done. Lets you jump down there. Okay, there we go. I was very, very confused. So you can make yourself super, super skinny, I guess. Okay. Interesting. Never came up aside from me getting my weird leg things. But yeah, it's a great follow-up. Oh, come on! What? It's a great follow-up. It offers some neat challenges, some good combative scenarios, lots of people for you to shoot, lots of violence that you could have. You know, not necessarily like perfect, but pretty good.